Oh, Fearless, welcome to youth. Hey Fearless, welcome to youth this week. Hope you're all doing well. So good to see you. Thanks so much for joining for term 2, week 2. Comment down below on how your week's going. I'm going to be sharing a quick revelation of what God's been teaching me this week. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight." So trust means to have faith. Hebrews 13:8 says, "Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever." So I challenge you to keep this verse in mind, remembering that God is the same no matter what we face. Let's head to the Nug Challenge.
So I got Paul. Coming Paul. This is where the round of applause will happen. What's gonna happen is we're gonna sit down, eat food, which is good, and talk about Jesus for a couple of minutes, and it's gonna be awesome.
As if you have tomato sauce.
Nugs are the bomb.
I don't actually like nuggets. Like, they wouldn't be my first order. I mean, I'll eat them, but like, I would rather fried.
Asked you guys to send us things, and we're gonna answer them. Ephesians. What is Ephesians? Ephesians, Philippians are good. They're really good just because like they just show joy and good hope. I love them. They're good books.
I really like, I don't want to be like, typical white Christian girl and say Psalms, but at the same time, I love Psalms because it's like poetry. I love it. I also love Proverbs.
Probably Psalms.
What's your favourite one, Seb?
119 because it's the longest.
Yeah, I actually didn't fairly good question.
My number one advice would be go talk to someone who with more spiritual maturity than you, who's been in their faith longer. Talk to, if you're a youth, talk to a leader at youth. If you're a church, go talk to your pastor. Talk to your parents if they're Christians. Talk to friends who have been Christians for longer than you. And it's really hard when you're doing it alone. Like, nothing's impossible, but make sure to get others going with you.
Yeah. Alright, so I had another thought. So James 1 verses 5-8 says, "If you need wisdom, ask your generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you from asking. But when you ask Him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is unsettled as the wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind." If you need wisdom, go to God straight away. God loves you, basically, is what the message is saying, and He's just saying, if you need doubt, if you're doubting, seek God straight away, and He will be there and He will answer you.
Okay, I think you're just fun, you know? Yeah. Bubbly and like, you're like soda.
Thank you. Well, my favourite thing about you is that you're not afraid to say what's on your mind.
Tom's singing voice is actually really good.
Okay.
And also his energy. He has lots of energy.
Yeah. Best thing about Paul though, in seriousness, his ability to recite anything Bible related on the planet. We asked him at cruise he asked us to give him a Bible verse for him to remember. He remembered like 7 off the top of his head, and they're not even like one verse, like passages. He remembers them off the top of his head.
So the most important thing is make sure you're listening, because if you're not listening, then how can you hear?
But how do you listen though?
So a good way is to get rid of all the other voices and just try and clear it out, and that's really helpful. Also look for, like, you'll be really surprised how many times that God's spoken to you and you haven't even realised it. Like if you...
And your that's not breathe in your
I think declare some of God's promises in the Bible over yourself, because there's a lot of them. It just got really serious. So something that really helped me is because I've gone through a lot of rough situations, but I'd say worship. Like just sitting down and listening to worship music, singing along, you know, that's really helpful, and you can get back into the presence of God, so I'd say worship for me. And another thing, just adding to that, whatever's distracting you, think about how much time you're spending like absorbed in that. So whether it's a bad group of friends that you need to get yourself out of, do that, because it will save you a lot of time and a lot of hurt.
I look back after giving my life to God. You sort of look back on that time that you've lived, and you sort of see the times that God's actually been there, and has been in every situation. You sort of see that a lot of the time.
Okay, I don't really hear his voice. I more see images. So it's actually worship. I'm a worship person. So in worship, I just get random images that show me a vision of something that's going to happen or something that's already happened. And I also see not only myself but others as well. So it's not just hearing his voice, it's also seeing what he wants you to see. And yeah, I really believe that you don't have to hear his voice in particular, but just see what he wants you to see, get the message that he's trying to send. I guess standing up for what you believe in today's culture and society is really hard because, I don't know, yeah, there's a lot of things out there that distract us and that, I don't know, call for our attention, but we're called to rise up and be people who pursue God and not pursue the things of this world, which can be really hard, but yeah, I think not being afraid to stand out, which is a lot easier said than done. I would say that because I go to a different school than everyone else, taking a stand would be standing up for my religion in a different environment, because a lot of people actually go to a Catholic school but diss everyone's beliefs and don't practice stuff. But I believe it's really important to stand up for what you believe in, and especially for people who are standing up as well, you need to stand beside them so you can stand together strong.
There's a song by Hillsong United called The Stand, and it's a favourite of mine. Back in the first year when I started coming to youth, we had a worship night at it was AC back then, so Cruise, and that song came on and it just really impacted me. So when that came out, I was like, yes.
Being able to really really tap into God's presence in any moment and be able to stand there with him through the good times and the bad times, especially with Corona going on, #Corona. With all that going on, I think it's more important than ever to really just like sort of find that space and find that moment where you're standing with God.
Yeah. Question, can I eat chicken nuggets or standing up?
Paul, if you fall over, I'm not helping you. You just asked a terrible question. Oh, yeah. If you want to see more of ScoMo, watch NewLife City Church every Sunday, 10. We don't do a 5 o'clock session, bummer. But we do the 10 o'clock session. Oh, and just for anyone wondering, I did do leg day. Yeah, I did leg day at school. Yeah, that's right, Caleb Toms. You made me do leg day and I did it. Okay? They're still not great. Okay? For Harry Grant out there, I see you, Harry Grant. Alright, this is the last chicken nugget. This is monumental. Paul ate heaps. And this is 100 nuggets. Oh, it's so old, it's so cold.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to stay up to date with our social media. Please like and subscribe, comment down below, and tune in for next week, Friday, 7 PM for youth. And don't forget, Cruise on Wednesdays. Don't forget to stay fearless.